Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, artillery. I haven't played artillery really at all. I very briefly dabbled in them in closed beta, but that was months ago, and I just have no idea how they really even work. But I thought it would be quite good fun, since I want to try and get down to the light artillery at tier 5 at some point, to do, because these guys are pretty strong at the moment, and it's something I'm kind of interested in playing. I thought, well, we might as well make a start, and I thought it'd be quite interesting just to do a bit of a game with the artillery, considering I've never played them before. Obviously, nothing upgraded to completely stock tier 3 artillery, so we're going to be throwing rocks in all sorts of random directions. Obviously, I'm using Caesar for the artillery, which kind of makes sense for heavy artillery. Probably when I get to the light artillery, I'll switch back over to Sulla because the movement speed buff makes it worthwhile, much more so. Yes, I think you have auto-aim and manual aim from what I can remember. I've run with the surveyors. It seems you've got a few options in terms of different equipment that you can take. Like the acrid smoke, which I think is like a continuous damage. Which is like sort of like the barbarian scorched earth. Berlin coals, which I think is a similar thing. And then you've got also like oil pots and stuff like that. The other permanent one is carpenter, which gives a little bit of range and missile expansion rate. Roll range plus 28. I just didn't think it was really worthwhile. Where is range? Up in 350 when it's already so long. I mean, it probably isn't going to make that much difference. I thought the refocus rate being quicker is probably more useful. So we're going to go run with that. Obviously, I'm taking a unit of infantry just for protection. They are fully upgraded. And I'm running them with the infantry stakes to provide a bit of protection for the artillery in case we get any cavalry or anything like that that wants to have a go. So, let's see how we get on in our first game. So, we are loading into the Battle of Thermopylae. Looks like we've been dumped at the lower end of the matchmaking scale in terms of tier. But we shall see how we get on. We're on this side. That's a shame, I prefer being on this side. You get a nice little sort of semicircle where you can sort of wedge yourself in a little bit better over there, whereas this is much more of a straight line, makes it a little bit harder. But we'll probably position ourselves on this edge sort of here. Should give us a reasonable range of shot over most of this area of ground, and we'll see if the enemy are coming to us or if we're going to them, etc. And well, let's have a go how we get on with artillery. Could be interesting. Obviously, in patch 3.1, artillery took a significant nerf.
No prisoners.
Has that just deployed that one?
Glory awaits.
Let's see how they get set up. Looks like those guys are setting up one there. Let's try and get you to set up one there. Hopefully they are assembling. If they are, we'll probably deploy one set of stakes here and one set of stakes here. And go from there. Okay, we've got one artillery up. Oh yeah, they are constructing the other one. So let's deploy some stakes there if we can. Okay, so we've got our two artillery. Now, how does this work? Manual aim.
The enemy has taken first blood.
Artillery ready! Ready to serve!
Now, why is that not manually aiming on both of them? Okay, so if I click off and right click on both and manual aim. No, it still selects them one at a time. Okay, interesting. Right, what's our range? What can we shoot at? What, if anything, can we shoot at? Do I just lob a shot over here? What happens? Let's just turn off manual aim then for a second. Hey, we hit someone! Are you both now attacking? You're not attacking. Oh, stop attacking. You'll get yourselves in trouble. We can throw some shots at them though. Is it particularly bad to auto-aim? Do you get any massive advantage to aiming manually? I guess for certain situations like shooting blind, where aiming manually seems better. Why can't you manually aim both together? It's a question that immediately springs to mind. It seems as though you have to do them individually, which seems a bit of a shame. Looks like we've lost sightings of those guys. There's some units down here in the moment. We don't particularly accrue a great deal of aggression damage doing this, but it's quite good fun. Actually, must be quite annoying or frustrating for the players involved.
Swordsman! Run!
So we've got to keep a weather eye on our own people. We can activate this, which is going to give us 5% missile dispersion. Why did I activate both of them at the same time? That was stupid. Obviously you can activate them individually, and that would work a lot better. So we're able to crew up a reasonable amount of damage against these guys pretty early on. Looks like there's some enemy artillery setting up over here. So now we're going to lose visibility on them. When I assume I can actually lob a rock at them.
Destroy! Artillery ready!
Like that. What happens then? Will they continue to lob rocks in that destination? No. I'll wait till him to lob his rock. Okay, he's lobbed his rock. Oh, okay. Didn't do a great deal, but better than nothing. Okay, yeah, manual aim seems pretty clunky, it's got to be said. Man, we're kind of a little bit exposed on that side, aren't we? There's nothing friendly sitting around there. Looks like those cavalry are going to charge in. So we'll cease fire on both of our artillery. Currently looks like... Oops. Those cavalry are going to try and run, so let's get some shots out. In it comes! Oh! If nothing else, it is quite good fun. All those Carthaginians are in range. How much recruit? Not a great deal of aggression damage, to be honest. That was a good shot. 8,000 damage, it clocked up a little bit. And it looks like we're sort of pushing the enemy back a little bit, which means that we are now sort of mostly out of range of everything. Which I guess opens up an interesting option. Either I try and advance up with these guys, sort of present a better opportunity, which is obviously going to leave me more vulnerable with the enemy sort of being in retreat. Or do we wait here and wait to see if they come back? I think the logical thing to do would be to move up. So let's assemble and disassemble. Shooting you. Yeah, it seems by having them both selected and selecting one command, it doesn't respond to both of them, it just responds to them individually. So I guess you have to hotkey through them. It's workable, it's just a little bit confusing. Activate a movement speed buff and get these guys on the road. See what fresh opportunities we can open up for ourselves. Come on guys, quickly now. The artillery crew, I don't know how fast they are, 3.8, not particularly speedy. We'll probably keep the Romans on the flank, which gives us a bit of an opportunity. Obviously we've left our stakes, which are no longer around to help us. Obviously it's just the risk of doing it. Okay, once we get moved up. Just that gives us the movement speed? Oh, it doesn't. It's this that gives us the movement speed. Oh, that was stupid. So deploy. Deploy. And Romans stay here. So we are constructing our 2 artillery. Well, hopefully this will give us a few targets to shoot at. What we're going to shoot at, I don't really know. Okay, we're in range of these guys. Let's lob a rock at them. We're obviously risking hitting our barbarians, particularly if they're going to run like that. Have we launched rocks? Yes, we have. Okay, panned out okay. Obviously accuracy is a bit of an issue. Looks like we're winning this battle pretty convincingly now. Getting a little bit of damage in on these Romans, which is good for us. I guess this is where possible manual aim sort of comes in better. It's a shame we can't seem to control both in manual aim. If there's a way to do that, please let me know. That would be most useful. Can we throw a rock at these archers? They're standing there on their own, or are they not in visual sight? No, they appear to be not in a shootable trajectory. Okay, those Romans are, those barbarians are back dead, so let's go back to lobbing rocks at these guys. Stones are out. Can see them coming. Ooh, it's going to clip the edge of them. No, we completely missed. Looks like they're going to get involved into another fight, so we've got to be a bit more careful. Although rocks are out, I think they're going to miss easily. Yes, they did. Okay, is there anyone else who is particularly vulnerable for me to shoot at? Not really. Can shoot at these guys more down on the flat, but kind of leaves us pretty exposed. Elsewhere, it looks like their artillery is pulled back far enough to be in cover. We can't shoot at these guys, really. I would have thought we'd just hit that cliff edge, to be honest. We'll have a go.
Our allies lie among our targets. We must stop.
We did kind of more allied damage than anything else. Let's try and target the one right at the back, so we're more likely to miss than do allied damage. No, they're just hitting the cliff when it goes like that, so that's not really working out for us. I think really the battle is mostly over, and most of the enemies are sort of have already moved or are already in retreat. Obviously there's a massive cliff in the way there, so I can't shoot those guys. The enemy artillery looks like it's being killed off now. Okay, well we might as well de-deploy. Keep forgetting you can't control them together, you have to select them individually. It's have quite a long construction time. Seems to be a lot longer than from what I've seen when facing off against... Oh, base is being taken. Let's move these guys up into the forest and we'll bring our Roman infantry back. Let's activate our little mini movement speed buff to get us a very slight increase to speed. And I suppose actually we might as well set up our artillery here, because this might give us a reasonable opportunity to face off and shoot whatever we see in base once our Romans get back. We should be able to get back in enough time to not have to worry about being capped out. And we're getting artillery constructed, so we should be able to start lobbing some shots in as well. Our aggression about 1,000 points, pretty low. And obviously you don't really accrue any other type of points. Obviously defense points you don't get when you're artillery because you don't get shot at unless you die, in which case it's all over anyway. Support points not really, and obviously decapping doesn't really have any benefit. Obviously we can now run into our own stakes without trouble. So yes, you don't tend to score particularly highly as artillery. Something I've noticed a few times, I think. Looks like we nearly got spots on these guys. Let's throw a preemptive rock in. Nice. Obviously we might not be as strong as some of these guys, although we do have access to the Benny, the buff, which actually at low tier might be kind of useful. Throw some javelins. Right, and let's see what we can do. Obviously we're kind of chasing these guys around a little bit. We should hopefully be able to get some visual on them soon. If we can get spots on them. Don't go that way, I want you to shoot that way. Is this crew abandoned there? Stop! You idiots.
Swordsman!
Mark your target.
Okay, well we've knocked them down with our javelins. Hopefully we'll get some rocks coming in.
Destroy!
For honor.
And we'll just use our Romans. There we go. Well, we've managed to reset the base cap if nothing else. We are going to get flanked here. How much damage is that going to do to morale wise? Not too much. We should be okay. And we'll just continue lobbing rocks in. We're only going to hit ourselves, so I'm not too worried about that. Use our new strikes that we introduced in the last patch. It should at least, if nothing else, it's getting us some good decap points. Good that we've earned far more points than we have in this couple of minutes than we have in the entire rest of the game.
Face our foe.
We're probably is causing as many friendly fire damage as we are damage to the enemy, but it matters not.
Cut them down. Germanicus has fallen.
Okay, let's start to apply some proper pressure.
Face our foe.
We're probably better off ceasing fire now. Which we've done, because I think we're just going to cause more damage to ourselves than we are to the enemy.
Them down.
Although, we have just got some enemy reinforcements. Let's throw a shot at them if we can. Particularly if they're going to run away like that, that would be lovely. I don't know if the friendly artillery auto-predicts positioning. Ceasefire, don't hit our allies. Okay, looking pretty good. Looks like we killed off these Romans convincingly, and we have capped out the enemy base. Victory! Okay. Well, that was interesting. Certainly not a class I think I would want to play full time, but it's kind of interesting for the odd game with a bit of artillery. That was quite enjoyable. Certainly got a good amount of experience for that one. 3,200 and 1,000 free experience. Although not all of that's on artillery, a lot of that was on our Roman infantry as well, which is obviously isn't so helpful. But it still gives enough to get the first table of calculations, which gives us plus 8% critical focus rate. Not too bad. And then it just gets better and better, so it looks like we can improve this artillery quite a bit more. So yeah, it could be kind of interesting going forwards. Not a lot of you having that experience on there. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I didn't really know how it was going to pan out since I haven't really played artillery before. But I'm certainly probably going to carry on with these a little bit more, and I want to get them obviously on to the light artillery at tier 5. Because these guys sort of work like machine gun nests at the moment, and I'm kind of excited to see how these are going to pan out. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting. That, increased movement speed. Cool. Well, that's something I'm looking forward to getting on. So, hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, please give the video a like. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you play artillery? If you did play artillery before the patch and post-patch, are you still content to play artillery following the changes? And yeah, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel for more Total War Arena content. And thanks guys, I shall see you all on the next video.